Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for Sagittarius in November 2018. Sagittarius, hi. How are you? How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, we're like well into November now. So, well, first, happy birthday for those who will be celebrating later this month. Next week, I believe, is this. Yeah, next week is the start of Sagittarius. As you can see, this video has come out pretty late, and I apologize for that. But I am a real human being. You know, I have a job. I've got responsibilities. I got other things that I got going on, other projects that I work on. So, you know, this is one of those projects, and you know, I didn't have the best schedule recently. Got a promotion at my job at my 9 to 5, so that promotion came with some training, which changed my schedule, which totally messed up my sleep pattern and just everything. So I apologize that you Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces are going to receive your messages quite late in the month, but you know, que sera sera, you know, that's life, right? Anyway, so again, happy birthday to those who are going to be celebrating next month. Hope you guys have a fabulous time. And of course, those who will be celebrating in December as well, happy birthday to you too. Went ahead and shuffled off camera. Sagittarius, so that's your main spread there. What we're going to do now is shuffle for the outcome and the overall energy once all cards are out. And they are facing upwards. That's when the reading will begin. You can find that timestamp in the description box below. Also down there is information on getting personal readings with me if you want to do that. I will make myself available to you. Those take priority over the generals also, so don't be daunted by the lateness of this video, because no offense, this is free. It's for everybody, so it's kind of, you know, it's important, but if it's the choice between doing a personal reading or doing a general reading, you got to do the personal readings, right? Anyway, so let's go ahead and get your outcome and your overall energy, okay? Outcome for Sagittarius, November 2018, please. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Oh man, you guys are being tough with me. You guys are being stubborn with me. Come on. There it is. Oh, there it is indeed. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Got it. And you only had the one card come face down, so let's go ahead and flip that guy over and see what's shaking. Wow, what? Well, well, well. Okay. So let me just, like, kind of catch you up on what's been going on off camera. You know, I meditate before I do any reading. I meditate and I cleanse the deck between readings. So I cleansed the deck, I cleared it, and then I meditated on your energy, trying to ask for messages for Sagittarius, and it took me a while to really connect with your energy, to really be given the thumbs up, green light to go ahead and begin shuffling and lay the spread out. And another sign I had a difficulty connecting with, I think it was Libra. I think it was like over a week ago now, or about a week ago, so don't quote me, but I think it was Libra. And so when the energy is somewhat difficult for me to connect with, I feel as though that usually means you're sort of in a topsy-turvy, sort of in a very pivotal moment in your life, in your mindset. Things might be a little haywire, you might be all over the place. And not to say that that's what's here in the cards, because something might not, what I'm saying now is not applicable necessarily to your spread, but I'm talking about just my preparation for this reading. It felt, number one, a lot of your cards flew and they went all over the place. So maybe that's something for someone out there, is just sort of to give you confirmation, like, yeah, your energy is scattered, your mind is scattered. In some cases, your heart or your emotions might be scattered or being pulled in different directions. And there was this feeling of not wanting to come forward, or finding it difficult to come forward with something. Like I said, it was really hard I shouldn't say really hard, like the most difficult ever. It's not, that's not true, but it didn't come easily finding your spot on the in the ether, so to speak. Okay, so that's your main spread. We're gonna figure out what's going on. Let's get into it. Where's Sagittarius in November 2018? Please show me. Sagittarius, November 2018. Please show me. You're all over the place. Tell me again, please. Where's Sagittarius? Here. Okay. I mean, this is where they finally settled, but I'm gonna be honest with you. You were here, you were here, you were here, you were everywhere. But I want a concise starting point. That's just how I do my readings, and so I asked for conciseness. This is what they gave me. Coming into November, Sag, you come in as the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So, Nine of Pentacles in reverse could indicate that some of you are going through a little bit of a financial hardship, maybe some financial setbacks or losses. You could be overspending, you could be overindulging. So some of you might be living above your means, or the holidays are coming up, your birthday's coming up, so you might be, spending on yourself. You might be giving yourself, the most ultimate birthday / or combination, because I know some of you are born near Christmas or Hanukkah and things like this. So you might be really out there putting more money. You might be putting more money out there than what you're bringing in. And I'm no financial advisor. I didn't go to school for that, so don't take advice from me. But to me, it feels like you kind of, for some of you, this is like saving you or saving your mind, or like it's alleviating stress. Thank you. It's alleviating stress. Whatever you're doing with your money, spending it on yourself or even spending it on others. Like I said, Christmas and the holidays are coming up. So it could be that, you can't really afford to give your niece or your nephew or your children or your loved one or your husband or whoever the latest, pair of Jordans, but you're going to do it because it makes you feel better for some, and maybe some of you are spending this money or giving gifts to sort of make up for something. So it's two things. It's like, it's relieving stress for some of you to provide for other people or to give yourself a little bit of me treatment, a little bit of, time in the spa or something like that. For others of you, it's like an apology or like trying to make amends or trying to show that you really do care for a person, that you do care about their livelihood, or like I said, it could be, clothes or shoes for your kids, and that they need them. And so I don't feel that this is necessarily the worst thing. Like I've said a couple times earlier this month, a card that comes in reverse isn't necessarily negative. Sometimes it's just the lesser of a card if it's in its upright position, or it's just, a different view of it. And in this case, energetically, what I'm feeling is it's not going to break you totally, this spending, but you might want to curb it. Like when you're keeping your own eye on your own totals, your own bank account. So that you've got this bill that needs to be paid, you've got this car note over here, you've got the mortgage coming out at the end of the month, whatever it is. So whether or not you're spending too much. If you're getting to that upper pinnacle, or that upper tier of spending too much, pull back, I think, is kind of what this would be warning you about. If this isn't totally about money, and I felt strongly that it was about money, and if you've been with me for a while, I don't usually just say, oh, pentacles mean money and that's it. No, pentacles are also about things that you value, things that you treasure, your physical material possessions. So it could be your car, it could be your home, could be, your personal computer, it could be, this is my top line gaming computer, whatever it is. And so whatever you value, if it's not money specifically, whatever you value, you might be overindulging in it, or sort of not that you're not treating it well. Maybe you're taking it for granted, you know? So if it is your car, maybe you're neglecting your car. You're taking it for granted. So you haven't had the oil changed in about, you know, since spring of this year or something like that. Maybe you didn't get your tires aligned or rotated or whatever. So you know that there are things that you have to do to keep up on your car, keep up on your home. If you value, like I said, if it's like a gaming system, you're just like abusing. I don't want to say abusing, but that's sort of, well, it came out. So you're, like I said, you're taking it for granted. So take care of it. Take care of that car. If you are spending 12 hours a day on your PlayStation or your Xbox, cool down. Take a break. Go for a walk, read a book, take a nap, do something else. Like, if you are hitting the PC or the gaming system hard, like I said, for 12, 15 hours a day, cool down. Like, that's just, like, not healthy behavior, is kind of what I'm feeling. So there's this element of if it's money and spending, you're doing too much of that, you might want to, you know, rein it in a little bit. And then if it's not specifically you're spending money, you're putting too much out there, it's you're putting too much time into something, or you're neglecting something, okay? But again, I feel like that is coming from a place, Sagittarius, which is very interesting, where it's doing two things. It's alleviating your stress and your feelings, in some cases, of guilt, or feeling like you're not being responsible. It's alleviating that feeling in the moment. The long term of whatever you're doing, spending money, playing video games all the time, for now, that feels good. But in the long term, you gotta get out of that, because you just got to. is what I'm feeling. And I've said this also this month. You don't have to do anything. It is a tarot reading. It's not, you know, a decree. By the power vested in me, stop playing video games all day. Stop spending so much money on your husband or your wife. I'm not saying that. That you can do whatever you want to do. But it is. I feel that the advice for you is to cut back on that. Just pull back a little bit, okay? Now, will you do that? I don't know. This isn't a future reading. This is like what's going on with you in November. What's going on with you in this time period. And what I'm feeling is this starting position is kind of doing two things. It's helping you, but like I said, in the long run, it could harm you. And you've got a lot of stuff going on outside of yourself. I cut that out of my videos, but the way that I lay the spread, it's like that. So each card comes out like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And as you can see, you have a lot of reversals. Practically all of these cards are in reverse. The only one that's upright is the Justice card. And that was interesting to me because, like, when we started, this was the only one that was lying face down. So all of these reversals around you indicate further, like I said at the beginning with the shuffling, you're in a disarray to a certain extent, Sagittarius. Your mind is running in 5 different directions at once. Your emotions are pulling you in different directions, or you're feeling that you're connected with people or that you love someone, but then you're also like, but I kind of don't like them. I kind of hate them on the DL. I kind of hate this person. You know, it's just like you're confused in some cases, you're overwhelmed in some cases, you're feeling like, what can I do? Which way is up is basically lost on you. And again, that's what I feel the spending money, the spending time at your leisure is all about. You're, for lack of a better word, avoiding facing, didn't I say that? Like, it's easier to distract yourself than to face up to whatever drama is going on around you, or whatever responsibilities and obligations are around you. You would much rather duck those things and give into your pleasure. Which makes sense, Sagittarius, I understand. Fire signs, we get it. As a fellow fire sign, I get it. But I don't think it's necessarily serving you. Will you turn that energy around. I don't know. I think this reading is going to be mostly, I'm looking, and I rarely look and study the board. I'm usually looking out in front of me, like across the room there. But what I'm feeling overall is this is like a culmination. Yeah, you're just, gosh. A lot of this, if I'm honest, is going to be about what's happened already. This is not about necessarily, like, this is not going to tell you much about what's coming towards you. This is going to tell you what's going on now and what has happened before. I'm going to tell you that straight up. What has happened before is you've dealt with a lot of drama. You've dealt with a lot of hardship. And yeah, okay, let's just get to it. So here and here is where what I'm seeing first. This could have been you. Thank you. This could have been you. Knight of Swords reversed. So if you're familiar with tarot, you know that swords are related to air signs. And I would normally tell you, oh, it could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Sure, for some of you, that might be the case. But I feel like a lot of you, this was you. This Knight of Swords energy, Sagittarius. For the most part, I feel it was you guys. And being in reverse, oh boy, you may have been really haphazard with your mouth, with your tongue, with your words. You may have been really like off the cuff, stubborn, or reactionary, flippant, very dismissive about something or someone. You were very much quick to draw a conclusion or quick to draw a line in the sand. And the thing about the Knight of Swords is he moves quickly. He addresses a situation or he addresses a topic of conversation, and once he said what he said, he's moved on to the next thing. He is hard to pin down. He will not stay a long time in one place or on one train of thought or like I said, one aspect of a conversation. So this could be someone at a party in a social setting who is like, you know, the conversation might be political, and then once this person shares their position on the politics of the day or the temperature of politics, they move on to the next thing. And anybody who's not moved on gets left out of the conversation. So this person socially could be a little abrasive, could be a little condescending, a little patronizing, just like I said, dismissive. And if it's not like about a social setting, like in amongst a circle of friends or at work or anything like that, this could have been like in a relationship. This could have been between you and another person. You were very dismissive of them, or you were very much, okay, we're done talking about this, and, you know, walk out of the room kind of situation. And I feel it's mostly you. This could have happened to you. It is a general reading, so you could have received this energy, but I feel a lot of you, this was the energy that you projected outward, that you gave to someone else, or that you gave to other people, is I've said what I said, I mean what I said, and I'm done talking about it, let's move on. You know, and so there could have been some ultimatums given for some of you. And I'm saying this, I hope you're not taking this in a negative way, quote unquote, negative way, because a lot of times that is actually progressive energy, or that is the energy that you need. What am I mean? They're giving me this situation, they're giving me this scenario where for some of you, you've dealt with a person, and I don't use this word either, but I know it's like one of the coin terms or one of the hot topic or hot button words of the day, a narcissist. Some of you could have been dealing with a narcissist. And having this come up for your energy, and again, I think it's something that has happened already or might be going on right now. I don't think you're going to encounter this much in the future. But let's say you were dealing with a narcissist. Narcissist partner, narcissist parent, narcissist friend, I don't care. And, you know, if for those who may not know, a narcissist, the way that we're learning about that term today is it's more than someone who's egotistical. It's about a person who not only is egotistical and believes that they themselves are the greatest thing since sliced bread, they also believe everybody else around them is there to serve that purpose or to serve to enhance that belief. So not only am I great, but you think I'm great, and if you don't think I'm great, you're an idiot. If you don't think I'm great, you can leave. If you don't think I'm great, well, you're just, you know, not even worth my time. Like, a narcissist is so self-serving. It's like beyond, to me, what I think someone might think of as someone who's egotistical. Like, they do not accept criticism from other people. They don't criticize themselves. They think everything that they do is amazing, or everything that they do has a rationality to it, or a reasoning behind it. And so they will just say the craziest things or do the craziest things and then say, well, the reason I did this was because blah, 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 blah. And you're looking at them and you're like, that makes no sense. That is not at all what is acceptable. And they say, well, to you maybe, but you know, for most people, this is totally normal. And you're like, there's no way that is normal. And you will tell them it's not normal. And they're going to say, well, I don't believe you. They're very calm a lot of times with their, so, okay, that little lesson over. So some of you gave this reaction, this whole, well, I've said what I said. I'm not going to continue this conversation. I'm not going to continue to feed into this behavior or feed into my energy into this situation. I'm out. I'm leaving. I've expressed myself and we're over, or it's over, or whatever. And that was in reaction to someone who, ironically, was kind of doing the same thing to you, was kind of giving you ultimatums, was kind of giving you, you know, their 2 cents and then walking out the door, or, you know, ending the conversation and, you know, okay, now we're going to talk about, you know, avocado toast. And you're like, but we were just talking about the finances in this family and how we're going into incredible debt, or, you know, the kids need this, da 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 da, and like having a big discussion. And then like this person is like, so avocado toast, I'm a fan, are you? And so you're kind of giving that back. And that happens a lot. You end up reflecting back to someone, or reflecting back to a situation, what it kind of has put onto you in the first place. So interestingly, Sagittarius, what I was saying before about leaving a room and dropping a conversation dead in its track, it was just like, I feel it was like it had to happen, or this is the only way you know how to deal with this person. And if it isn't you, this is, again, the energy that was being projected to you. So I hope you can follow what I was just saying there. And on top of that, literally, as we can see here, right, on top of that, you were like made to be feeling, wow. You were left feeling, there you go, or made to feel, thank you, like super worn out from this person, the situation, your own reaction to it, or your own dealings in it was just like so tiresome. 9 of Wands in reverse, by the way. I didn't say that. This is the 9 of Wands in reverse. So being like beat up in a situation, in some cases literally, and if that's your literal situation, you have all my sympathy, you have all my support. I hope you are able to get to a place in your life that is safe. I hope that you're able to get surrounded with people who will keep you safe. If you literally are coming out of a situation where you were physically beat up, okay? Not cool, not acceptable. Nobody should stick around for that. Nobody, okay? And if that's not your situation, you know, still you have that feeling of being worn out and exhausted. And Wands deals with fire, passion, drive, your self-belief, your ability, and your bravery in some cases. So if all of that is drained out of you, or it's on this really low level, you can't really feel sometimes connected to who you are, to what you do in this world, what you contribute to a situation or a relationship. And I think a lot of Sagittarius that I'm reading for, and if this doesn't apply to you at all, if nothing I've said so far has hit for you, congratulations. But for those who this is hitting for, I feel you're coming from a place where you've struggled really to feel motivated, connected, interested, in some, like I said before, in some cases safe and secure. It's just been a long time since you have felt you have a place in the world, or you have a place in your family, you have a place in your work, a place in society, whatever. And like I said, the Nine of Wands is also, it speaks to this idea of defense and having to constantly defend yourself or constantly stand guard on something. And a lot of you have been, if you think about it like as a boxing posture or even like an MMA thing where you would be blocking, you know, incoming punches and incoming shots, like your guard is down. Like you're just literally, your hands are at your side and you're like, I know I'm about to get the crap knocked out of me. I know I'm about to see stars here, but I just can't keep defending myself. I can't keep my guard up anymore. And it could have been, again, this Knight of Swords could have been another person. And I'm still getting like that reflection thing. As much as this was, for some of you, another person, perhaps a narcissist, it was also you. Like, you took, like, basically, you met them on their level. And you had to do that because this is where you were beforehand. Or this is what was, like, your constant state of being, was constantly feeling overwhelmed, so tired, so depressed or frustrated, so sad, so angry. And, like, you just couldn't keep up those emotions or those states of being. And so your reaction was, I've had enough. I'm out of here. I've had enough of this conversation. I've had enough of this relationship. I've had enough of working in this place. Or, you know, it can go so many ways. So in many ways, these two cards, like I said, this one feels like defeatist. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And then the burst of the energy out of that, or the burst of action in some cases, it wasn't action. If it wasn't just verbal, it was then an action, was this very fierce, very intense move away from whatever was bothering you. And this might be a continual thing. You know, if you live with a narcissist, a husband, a wife, you know, a child or a parent, whoever, roommate, if you live with this person, if you work with this person, and if it's not so terrible, you know, on an abusive level that you actually have to leave for the safety of your life or the safety of you and your children or something like that, this would then be a cycle. This would then be a cycle, a very toxic, detrimental cycle that is not healthy for anybody. Ugh, you got all my sympathy, because I can't imagine having to constantly live that way. So you might have this be a daily or a weekly or a routine cycle of, you get up, you go to work every day, you have your coffee in the morning, you sit down at your desk, and then by like 9:30, 10 o'clock, Mr. Narcissist comes to your desk and they just, you know, ruin your day, or they start in on whatever they're doing, and then you feel like this, like, oh my God, just leave me alone, Ted. Why don't you go sit down? Oh my God, why are you in my office? You know, and you're just taking this person's energy on. And then at some point, you become not a narcissist, but you become the Knight of Swords. You become short-tempered. You become really biting with your words. You become really dismissive in similar ways that Ted would be, whoever Ted is, your husband, your wife. You know, there's no gender, but I just assign random names when I do my reading. So whoever or whatever Ted represents to you, as much as it drains on you, or this person drains on you, and kind of inhabits your space, again, you could be living with this person, as much as they drain you and as much as they take that energy away from you, you then take that energy, whatever your reserved energy is, and you kind of project, you kind of burst forth with it in a dismissive way, in a way that is very self-preserving. You have to run away, or you have to make drastic changes. So if it's not towards Ted, let's go back to this office thing where this person comes and they talk to you and they, you know, rag about their life and they're upset about, you know, they're unloading their crap on you, and it's very like self-serving. They're not, like, this person is not aware, like, we're at work. You've been standing here for 20 minutes talking to me. You are in my way. You're preventing me from doing what I need to do, and you, in turn, are not doing the work that you need to do. Like, this is your internal dialogue, Sagittarius. You're just like, go away from me. Leave me alone. And so maybe you never, ever, ever react that way towards Ted on the outside, but that energy sits within you. And so then maybe you offload it to someone else who is not involved. Maybe you go out to lunch, or you go home to your husband, your wife, or your kids, and you unload that energy to them. Yes, thank you. Here we go. See, it all connects at some point. So let's say that was your scenario. Ted, Susan, Barbara Jean, I don't care what their name is, at work or somewhere outside of your home. This person exists. And you never bite back at them. You never tell them where to go. You never tell them where to stick it. You just like take on their narcissistic energy. You take on their impositions and their you know, sucking up of your energy or sucking up of your time. And that really annoys you, really bothers you, makes you tired, keeps you feeling worn out and drained. Then you go home to your wife, to your kids, to your roommate, I don't care, to your dog, whatever, or whoever you go home to, and then they ask for just a little bit of your time, or a little bit of your opinion on something, or a little bit of feedback and interaction from you. And your reaction, Sagittarius, is to get the hell away from me. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Don't you see, da 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 da, and it's like you unload, perhaps in some cases, on the wrong person. And then that takes us back to this Nine of Pentacles in reverse situation, where maybe to make amends for all those times that you've misdirected your energy towards your husband, towards your wife, your kids, whoever, you're buying them gifts, you're trying to, you know, go out to nice dinners with them, or to avoid making things work, you lock yourself into your bedroom for 12 hours a day on the weekend, and you play video games the whole time because, you know, it's better than going down, facing your problems, and having an honest conversation of what the hell's going on. Some of you don't want to admit there's a person at work, Ted, Barbara Jean, I don't care who they are, and they really do this XYZ to me, and they make me feel this way, but I can't say anything. Maybe they're your boss. Maybe they have some say over what happens in your place in the workplace. So there's this misdirection of energy in some cases that speaks to what I was saying at the beginning of this video, which is I feel you don't know which way is up. You don't know necessarily how to alleviate your problems, or how to really make the next best decision for yourself. So you're in sort of like this avoidance mode, or like I said, you're misdirecting your energy, and so people are kind of caught unaware of like, oh my God, Sagittarius just bit my head off. Why? Like, we haven't had any arguments, we've been getting along fine, and then all of a sudden Sagittarius said this to me, or Sagittarius got up and left, and Sagittarius has never done that. So you're like, as much as you're confused and you don't know what to do, other people around you then are confused and don't know what to do with you, okay? And, okay, so I feel pretty solid with that. What's going on the other side of this? Oh, Sag. You've been unhappy. Clearly with the Sun card in reverse, you've been unhappy. Excuse me, you have felt unfulfilled. You've felt as if you don't know what's happening. And let's talk about it since I went ahead and mentioned it. The Sun card in reverse, the secondary card of Leo, so there might be a Leo of significance in your life, but I'm not really feeling many people. Like, I've mentioned other people, but they're kind of like in the background. Like, this is really a reading for you. Like, this is really, you're the star here, okay? So, the Sun card, you'll see other readers, and this is not a knock on them when I mention other readers, and number one, I don't mention them by name, so you don't know who I'm talking about, or who is popping up in my mind, but other readers will say, the Sun card is always positive. I mean, maybe to them. You know, each reader has their own interpretation, their own way of connecting with energy, or connecting with spirits, if you want to think of it that way. Whatever they do works for them. For me, the Sun card is not always positive. Like, that's not always indicative of positivity. I mean, it's positive in the sense of being that this is in the reverse. It's not negative, but it does indicate perhaps some less desirable, or like I just said, perhaps even negative aspects of something that's going on in your life. And right now, I'm taking this as to mean You've been unhappy, Sag. That's not positive. You could read that as negative. And a lot of people wouldn't think that. The Sun card, you know, whether it's reverse or upright, looks like a pleasant card. I mean, it's easy. It's one of these cards where you don't have to like crane your neck to really to really see what's going on. You've got a sun, you've got a baby on a horse. That looks like fun, even though it's in reverse. And I don't know why I'm having to explain this to you, but I'm just letting you know. Okay, thank you. See, they give it to me. I'm like, why do I have to say this? Because this. I'm like, okay. The reason I have to say this is because I think, Sagittarius, you've been sort of in this fantasy, which, yeah, I think, not that you are one of those signs like a Cancer or a Pisces might be a dreamer, one that enjoys fantasy and will stay in fantasy. I think, Sagittarius, your type of fantasy is you... give me more, please. Like, your form of fantasy isn't about imagining a better circumstance for yourself. It's not like I said, a Pisces or a Cancer, or even sometimes like a Taurus, where in their mind, they are, in many times, they will trick themselves into believing things are not what they seem. Like, they will sell themselves a pipe dream. Is sort of what they can do sometimes. And no offense if you're cross-watching Cancer, Scorpio, or excuse me, Cancer, Pisces, or a Taurus person. Your type of fantasy, Sag, is that of ignorance. Yes, thank you. You're not trying to sell yourself a pipe dream. You're not trying to look at your circumstances and say, you know, instead of holding a big pile of poop in my hand, I'm holding a cheeseburger or a bar of gold. No, that's not your type of fantasy. Your type of fantasy is to say, I don't even have poop in my hand. A turd in your hand. And they're like, no, nothing's in my hand. No. So it's not about imagining that your circumstances or whatever you're dealing with, whoever you're dealing with, isn't what they are or who they are or anything like that. It's that they don't exist. So there's like this idea, Sag, that you're sweeping things under the rug, or you have been sweeping things under the rug. You've tried to negate, thank you. You've tried to ignore, negate, pretend that something isn't there. I hope that makes sense. Like, okay, fine. We'll go with this analogy. I don't know that it's the greatest, but okay. Like, and I hate to keep ragging on like Pisces and Cancers, but like that's who they want me to mention. And so maybe that's significant for somebody out there. But a Pisces or a Cancer person could be trapped in a desert and experience a mirage, right? You know, they say if you're trapped in the desert, you can experience that whole, your eyes will play tricks on you, and you'll believe this illusion, like that your brain has conjured up. You're gonna be like, yes, I'm standing right in front of whoever, and like, no, that's a cactus. You're hugging a cactus. That is not who you think it is. You should let go of that cactus. Sagittarius, you wouldn't even imagine that the cactus is a person, or that the cactus is some source of water, or anything like that. You would imagine that the cactus doesn't even exist. I hope that makes sense. You don't turn the circumstance in your mind, in your understanding, into something more positive. You just remove it. You remove it, negate it. It doesn't even exist. It never happened. They never, you know. So, in the case going back to the office situation where Ted or whoever is coming to your office, coming to your cubicle and ragging on about life for 20, 30 minutes at a time, you experience that 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. This person comes into your office, they yap and they yap and they yap and they yap. And maybe you go home and you don't even tell your wife, tell your husband about this person, how they affect you, what they moan about, like how it really grates on your nerves. You pretend it never happened. And then when you snap on husband or wife or kids or whoever, they're like, holy hell, where did this just come from? Like, I thought things were cool, but apparently Sagittarius is in a bad mood, or Sagittarius didn't like, you know, so people don't get where your reactions are coming from because you're not connecting the dots in a lot of ways. Like I said, if you're ignoring, negating the existence of Ted, and you try to isolate that experience in the 20-30 minutes that it happens to you, and you aren't letting that energy out in the moment, you're not addressing Ted directly. Hey, Ted, get the hell out of my office. I'm tired of you coming in here ragging to me or, you know, bitching to me about issues in your life. I don't have time for this. I have work to do. If you're not telling Ted that, and you're letting that situation run on and on and on, like I said, it's like a cycle back here, on and on and on, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, bro, ma'am, that experience, that energy that you're taking into you has to come out somewhere. And if you're not going to give it directly back to its source, you will be giving it to other people. And that's that misdirection. That's that disarray. That's that crazy thing where I feel your energy is pulled or being shot out in different directions. And it's not necessarily the best. And that makes you unhappy. Experiencing Ted, having to go and listen to him, you know, going home and misdirecting that energy towards your wife or towards your husband and your kids or whatever, and then feeling guilty about it or feeling like I shouldn't have said that, I shouldn't have done that, and then having to come here and apologize for it, but you're apologizing for things that other people don't know why you're apologizing. Like, they know you're sorry, but they don't fully understand where that motivation is coming from. All of this turns that sun energy, that whole, it's always positive, it's always great. It just, no, it's showing a quite dim light. You know, the sun, brightest star in our universe, it keeps our planet heated, even though I'm in the northern hemisphere this time of year, so it's a little chilly, but I'm still grateful for, you know, I know that light is still there, even though I'm in this cold period of time. Does that make sense? So you're in a cold period of time, Sagittarius. The sun will eventually turn upright in your life somewhere, and you will get back to these happier, more positive, more embracive or affectionate times. But for right now, or what's been happening recently, you've just been like very cloudy, very moody, a little pessimistic, or a little ornery in some cases, just like irritable all the time, or, you know, like I said, snapping on people who don't deserve to be snapped on. And that's just what it is. There's nothing else to say. That's just what it is. Above there, you've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Like I said, practically all these cards are in reverse. So Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So bad times for you right now. And I shouldn't say bad as if like it's the worst thing. And in some cases maybe it is the worst thing, but I don't feel that. I'm not feeling for most of you this is the worst thing that's ever happened to you or anything like that. I feel that this has just been like a shady, not shady as in shisty or like, you know, not to be trusted, but shady as in like cloudy, shady as in like gray, shady as in like monochrome. Like, this has just been a shady part of your life, Sagittarius, right now, where, you know, like if this was like a forecast of Sagittarius's life over X amount of months or X amount of years, or in some cases, X amount of weeks, it would just be cloudy. Cloudy. And, you know, you go to the next forecast and it's cloudy. It's just continual cloudiness. It's continual, repetitive, in some cases, dark clouds in your life. And the Wheel of Fortune, what I am feeling, thank you, is that because the Wheel of Fortune is associated with the planet Saturn, it's also associated with the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. But to me, I'm feeling this more as like a thing linked to Saturn. Saturn is, I will say it all the time, is the taskmaster, the lesson bringer, the great teacher. And he is an old school teacher, okay? Like militant, like teachers like back in the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s, where if you didn't, you know, perform correctly in class, they put a dunce cap on your head and stick you in a corner. Nowadays, if you do that to a kid, you'll be arrested. You know, and I'm not saying that's something that I believe shouldn't. My tone may have implied that I'm all for the dunce capping. No, but I'm saying today we would not punish students, children, in the way that, to certain degrees, children were punished in the 30s, 40s, 50s, even in the 60s, right? Where, you know, I've heard from my people in my family, my aunts, my uncles, my grandmother when she was living, like how teachers could just rough you up. And again, I'm not saying that teachers should be allowed to rough kids up these days, but I'm just saying the idea that the teacher, the person who is obligated or takes on the job of teaching and educating children, could also give them a little spank. That's interesting. Like today, that is just unheard of. That's appalling in this day and age. But that existed at some point in our history and exists still in other cultures. So if Saturn is a teacher, he's that type of teacher. He's not a modern day, let's talk about your feelings, let's get you down to the counselor's office, and let's get you, you know, an emotional support ferret that you bring into the class every day. No. This Saturn is old school, you know, just militant. Here's your lesson for the day. Oh, you didn't learn your lesson? Smack. Did you learn your lesson now? Smack. How about now? Smack. And not to say, going back to those who are in a situation that involves that type of abuse, involves that type of physical violence, that no, that's your lesson. You have to keep taking those punches from your spouse. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the temperature, the forecast of your life recently has been, here's something difficult, Sagittarius, deal with it. Oh, you still haven't gotten the lesson that I intend for you to learn? Here's another difficult aspect of your life. Let's make things harder for you, not only at home, but now we're going to make it hard or difficult for you at work. And there's this idea cosmically, from the universe, from spirits, from God, however you want to think about it, that Sagittarius, there's something here that you, not anytime soon, I don't think. I think you'll get it in retrospect. But at some point, you'll look back and you'll say, ah, I got it. I got it. I get it. I don't think you're going to find out anytime soon what that lesson is, why it happened. But it did happen, and I feel it's purposeful. I feel that it's purposeful. And I don't want to, you know, presume any details of anyone's life. But if you're going through the worst shit you've ever gone through in your life right now, and it feels like you don't know, you're like at the end of your rope, you have no solutions, you have no way of guaranteeing, not even guaranteeing, you feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. I don't want to casually sit here and say, well, you know, don't worry about it, Sagittarius. It's not, you know, I don't want to downplay what you're going through at all. What I want to do is kind of offer you this more macro, more expanded vision of what you're going through, the bigger picture. The bigger picture to me says, in the now, right now, and as of recent, so the last few months, last few years in some cases, it has been a shit show. It's been terrible for you, or some aspect of your life has just been consistently disappointing, consistently upsetting, consistently makes you unhappy, makes you feel overly extended and exhausted, whatever. That has been your recent history. But in the big picture of things, Sagittarius, that period it's not going to hold you back. Like, you might have one of those controlling spouses, male or female, it doesn't matter, who's like, you know, making you live like you're on a leash. You can't do anything without their say-so. You can't do anything without their approval. Your independence is in their hands. So you're going to someone who's a part of the justice system and you're saying, listen, I'm an adult, but I live like I am somebody's property, okay? I'm told where to go. I'm told what to wear. I'm told what I can spend my money on, what I cannot spend my money on, what I can eat, what I can't eat. It's crazy. Some of your cases is crazy. All right, outcome for all of you, Sagittariuses. 3 of Swords for the month. More tough energy. Heartache, heartbreak, right? Third party situation, people will say that, but in this case, I don't feel that, like, in the least. Like, I really, like, that would be far-fetching that this all boils down to a third party situation, and, like, and maybe historically it's involving or informing your reading, but so maybe, what do I mean by historically? Like, maybe you're in a marriage, but that marriage started out of a third party situation. I hope that makes sense for some of you. But I don't feel currently there's some type of third party cheating situation. If it is a third party, it's because there are 3 elements, 3 facets of your life that are kind of congruently affecting you. But what I'm feeling this card mostly speaks about is the heartache, the heartbreak, the loss, the pain associated with all of this. Whenever, wherever it affects you, it's just always like this. You feel like cloudy, and okay, right, again, the cloud storms in the back of the card. Your forecast is, what's that called? What's that called? It's not overshadow. Oh my God. Overcast. Thank you. Overcast. Constant overcast. Constant thick clouds is what I'm feeling for you. And this as your outcome indicates that to certain extents, that element is going to continue for you for a while. Going forward, even if you get the justice you think you deserve, if you quote unquote win whatever you're trying to win, or you get a positive result out of something that is so negative, there will be this overhanging Three of Swords feeling. So maybe you do get the divorce that you want. Maybe you do get the custody of the kids away from your abusive husband or wife or whatever, and the children are now in your care. But there will be that 3 of Swords energy still in that situation, because as a child coming from a quote unquote a broken home, I wouldn't describe it that way, but for lack of giving you all the details of my childhood, broken home will work. So I know that in the long run, that was what needed to happen between my parents. Yeah, I feel it was better for both of them. But for me, as the child at that time, felt like this. I was angry, I was hurt, all that kind of stuff. So that might be true for some of you, where you're getting divorced, or you're separating a family, or you're breaking up a home, whatever. And it's good for you, the adult parent. It's good for the other adult parent. You two are too toxic together to make it work. So if you go your separate ways, maybe you guys, won't kill each other, won't continue this pattern of volatile interaction with one another. But your kids are going to feel that. And they might hold it against you, or hold it against the other partner. That's where I'm feeling it. So even when you get that just, fair, balanced result, there's still this idea of it hurting someone. Okay? Overall energy, 8 of Wands. So, 8 of Wands, again, Wands dealing with fire, the fire elements, the fire signs. Passion, movement, in this case speech, in this case communication, coming in quick, coming in hot, coming in fast. So that could mean instant. So some of you are like messaging a lot. You're on Instagram, you're on instant messenger services, or Facebook Messenger, texting, things like that, sometimes email. But it's results driven. It's like purposeful. So as quick as this communication might come to you, or you might be sending it out, it does also come with like sort of certifiable truth or honesty. Like, nothing here has felt dishonest to me. I should say that. Like, as difficult as this has been, and in some cases kind of hard to pin down, I also feel that's honest. So you might be communicating that with your lawyers or with your best friend. If someone is messaging you like, hey girl, or hey guy, we haven't talked in a long time, what's going on with you? You're just like giving it to them. Well, I'm in the middle of a divorce, or I'm in the middle of this, I'm in the middle of that, and this is happening, and I feel this way, and blah, 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 but I also feel this way. So you're just like really open and quick to tell people how messed up stuff might be in your life. You might be providing details to someone who isn't necessarily involved. So you might be offloading, again, this feeling of offloading your energy or offloading what you feel to someone who isn't necessarily involved. Or in some cases, directly involved. Like I said, you could be talking to your lawyers, you could be talking to counselors. And when I said this whole thing about justice and divorcing and all that stuff, some of you aren't going that route. Some of you are going the route of mediation. Some of you are going the route of counseling and talking to therapists and talking to professionals who will help mend your situation, okay? And if that happens, if you don't break the family apart, if you don't divorce, or if you don't split up with your partner in some type of way, and you mend it, you try to work on it, that Three of Swords would also apply. Just because you try to work on it doesn't mean that things are going to be sunshiny and beautiful. Like, no, okay, if we're going to deal with this, let's go to the counselor, let's go to the therapist, and the therapist and the counselor, they're going to ask you all kinds of hard-hitting questions. And you're going to be super truthful with it, very quick. How do you feel when John does this? Well, I feel this way when John does that. And John's just sitting there like, oh, you never said, you never told me, I didn't know. And that hurts John's heart. But it's honest, it's truthful, it's fast. It's like to the quick. You know what I mean? Alright, Sag, that is your reading for November. Oh boy. These readings will never be under an hour. Well, some are under an hour. But anyway, if you like what you saw here, the like button's down below. Comment down below. I'd love to hear about your story. If you don't want to say it publicly, email me. I'll read it there too. But the feedback is always appreciated. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you haven't shared, but you think someone would benefit from hearing this message, go ahead and share it with them too. And I will be back very soon with your December general readings. I will also soon be posting your birthday season readings. I decided to put those into the channel. So after Scorpio, your birthday is next, coming, like I said, next week for you early Sagittariuses. So look out for that video as well. And I thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Bye.